Remember when everyone would ask you when you were little, what do you want to be when you grow up? And now we're grown up and don't know what we're doing with our lives? Hi, my name is Madeline and I am a college and career life coach. I help high school students, college students, and young adults navigate the confusion that is life after graduation. Whether it's choosing your first career path or changing to a new career path, I am here to help you figure out what it is that you are doing with your life. So, welcome, get comfortable, and let's hang out together. Welcome back to my podcast. It is so nice to be talking with you again. I know it's been a while since I have actually posted a new episode. This month has been crazy, but we are getting back into the swing of things, and I am going to talk about another one of the questions in my frequently asked questions series. So today's question is, how do I know what to study in college? This could be answered in one of two ways. The first way it could be answered is how to know what to study based on your interest. So, someone may have a specific interest, like for me, I wanted to go into occupational therapy, but there's nothing that is specified for occupational therapy when you're just getting your bachelor's degree beforehand because it's a graduate program. So I didn't really know for sure what I should be studying going into college, but I knew that I liked psychology, and thankfully, psychology was already something that I could take in order to get closer to the prereqs that I needed to get into the occupational therapy graduate program. So that worked out. But you might be like me, you might have a certain career in mind, but you just don't know how to get from point A to point B. For occupational therapy, if you're interested, you can either do, well, as far as I know, you can either do psychology or exercise science. Like I said, thankfully, I liked psychology and I had more fun studying that. So that's what I chose. Looking back at it though, I feel like exercise science was probably more appropriate, although psychology is important depending on who you're going to be working with. But as far as like the bulk of what you're doing in your career, exercise science was probably more appropriate. But, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the same degree. Yeah, I guess the reason why psychology is also equally as accepted is because you may be dealing with people with special needs. You may be dealing with certain demographics, like children or older people. You might be dealing with someone who had an accident, some sort of trauma or severe loss. And so the psychology aspect is important. So you're gonna get a little bit of both in your education either way. But no matter which of those that I chose, I just needed to make sure that I had all my prereqs, which nobody told me that. I just happened to look it up one day. um so there was a college like not far from home that offered a master's in occupational therapy, and thankfully I happened to look up their program one day and saw a list of prerequisites, and I was like, some of these aren't within my major. Like, why did nobody tell me that I needed to be looking at these classes? Thankfully I stumbled upon that. So I would say, if you're in a situation like me where you could go multiple avenues with your major, just make sure you have a list of prerequisites for the program you're going to do after your bachelor's, just to make sure that you're taking the right classes. But that is helpful because, like I said, whether you choose, exercise science or psychology, you're going to get a little bit of both either way. And that's because these programs do have that prerequisite list of classes so that they make sure you are getting the fully rounded education that they want you to have before coming into the program. So that was just a little bit about how to know what to study based on your interest. And that, I just could only answer that based off of my own experience. I wouldn't be able to give you a personalized answer unless we spoke. But that's what I've got for you. And like I said, if you're thinking about going to a master's program, I would be making sure you've got that list of prereqs because that was, like I said, a big surprise to me. I had no idea that that was a thing. So I'm glad I stumbled upon that. The other way that this question could be answered, and just to remind you, the question is, how do I know what to study in college? The other way that this question could be answered is, how do I know what to study if I don't know what career I'm doing? That might be a question you have. And that's kind of hard. I am a big believer in general studies majors. If you do general studies, I believe you can. I don't know if all schools offer it, but I believe you can enter into a 4-year university as like undecided or like as a general studies major. But I know for sure you can do that at local community colleges. So I would say if you don't necessarily have an interest in something and you don't know what career you're doing, but you want to go ahead and get the ball rolling on the education, do general studies, because that's going to give you those core classes that you need. And who knows, you may find something along the way while you're learning things in those classes that you realize you're really interested in. Or that could also buy you some time to be able to experience life, not have to be a super full-time student like you were in high school, committing 8 hours a day to classes. And it can give you the opportunity to try new things, meet new people, have new experiences, and that alone can really help you understand what you like. And if it doesn't help you understand what you like, at least it'll probably help you understand what you don't like. So whether it helps you discover what you want to do or just buys you time to figure that out, general studies is a good way to go. Or if you don't know what career you're going to do, but you do have a major that you're interested in, I would just say go ahead and go for it. You don't have to have it all figured out. And a lot of times people come in with a certain career in mind and then they either change their major or they don't even end up in that career. So it's okay to still not know what you're doing. I mean, like I said before, a million times over, you have the rest of your life to have it figured out. You don't have to figure it out right now. Some people start at a community college and get their general studies done and then transfer to a university to get their bachelor's in whatever field they want to study. I don't think you can graduate with a bachelor's in general studies. I think at some point you do have to pick a major, but it does provide you with the core curriculum, like I said, until you decide what you're interested in and eventually pick a major that correlates with that. And you can always take time off between high school and college. It's not a big deal. And in retrospect, like it's such a small amount of time in comparison to the rest of your life. So don't be intimidated by making that choice just because not a lot of people are doing it. And who knows? I mean, more people might be doing it now, but when I was in high school, which I graduated in 2016, not a whole lot of people were taking a year off. I mean, I know maybe a handful of people that did that, but either way, it's like we're competing to finish on time and to stay ahead of our peers. And it's not even like it's not a race. It really isn't. It's not a race. You don't have a prize at the finish line. You don't get a trophy that says you finished your college degree and got a job the fastest. Like, nobody cares. Just do what's best for you and have fun along the way. Make sure that you're constantly checking in with yourself and how you're feeling to make sure that you are continuing on the right path. If you're not totally in love with anything right now, that's okay. You can just take something that you're interested in and explore it from there. Some people never fall in love with a career, and it's okay to work in a career that you can tolerate. Obviously, just make sure you don't hate it, but it's okay to work in a career that you can tolerate in order to provide money and support for passions that you'd like to pursue outside of work as hobbies. My boyfriend, for example, and I think I've used him as an example already, but I will continue to say it to make sure that it's normalized. He works in construction. He didn't wake up one day and say, "Oh my gosh, construction is awesome. I dream of being a construction worker. Please put me on a fast track. Like, I have got to get in that career." He never said that. Um, he didn't have any interest in going to college after he graduated, and he went straight into a job that he could get trained on the job while he was paying, or while he was getting paid. And yeah, that's how he got there. And now he's almost 9 years. God, he's old. He's like 9 years out of high school, and he has been continuing to gain experience and get raises, and he supports himself, and that's okay with him, even though he's not following his dreams necessarily, at least not actively. Right, I mean, I don't want to say he's not following his dreams, because he is doing stuff to work towards his dreams, but he is not solely pursuing his dreams by themselves. He's still doing something that allows him financial support so that outside of work he can do the things he loves. He dreams of being a drummer for somebody one day, whether it's his own band or a famous artist, whatever the case may be. And so he's got the money that he makes in his construction job that funds the expenses of having music equipment, that allows him to have the gas in his car to drive to shows that he's going to play, and just stuff like that. Like, and this man breaks drumsticks all the time, so he has to buy new drumsticks. But so, to make a long story short, he works in a job that he never dreamed of being in. He didn't wake up and say that he loves construction, but he doesn't mind it. He finds it interesting. It doesn't get boring to him, and it funds his passions outside of work so that he can continue to feel fulfilled, even though he's not necessarily hardcore following his dream, if that makes sense. So, if you feel like you would be happy with that, with a situation similar to that, then that is perfectly fine. It's fine to not be totally in love with the job you're in, as long as you're not miserable and unhappy doing so. But that's where I had to draw the line for myself, because I liked what I did. I wasn't super passionate about it. I never woke up one day and said, "Oh my god, I have to be an X-ray tech. Like, this is the best job in the world and I'm so obsessed." I really liked what I did. I thought it was really cool, but like, there were other things about the field, being in the field, that I realized, "Oh, this is not what I want to do anymore. Like, this is not something I'm willing to put up with long term." Wow, that was really long-winded and far off topic from how do I know what to study in college. So I'm going to wrap that up, but it does take time to figure out what you want to study in college if you don't have a certain interest yet. Or you may have a couple of options, like I did, trying to go into occupational therapy. Just, pick something that's interesting to you, that's going to make it fun, that's going to make it enjoyable, because nobody wants to be miserable. That's not to say that, getting your education and meeting a goal, or achieving this goal and getting into the program and getting into the job, that's not saying that's not going to be hard, but like, you want to make it as easy as possible on yourself. And if you're picking a major that you absolutely hate learning about, then that's probably not going to do you any good. And obviously, this is only for the people that have the option between multiple majors like I did. I know that doesn't apply to everybody, but for those of you asking, how do I know what to study in college? You probably don't have a situation where you have to study a certain thing. So, yeah, if you don't know what to study in college still, take your time, try new things. If you want to get the ball rolling on your education, do general studies until you figure it out, and it's going to be okay. Like I said, there's no rush. You're literally fine. Well, I hope you guys are having a happy holiday season. Happy New Year to all of you. I know we're going to make this the best year yet. And I have new social media handles, at names, whatever you call them. Um, as of November 8th, I am officially an LLC. So my new name across the board on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube is Madeline Swan LLC. That is MadelinSwann LLC. So make sure you follow me so that we can hang out outside of these podcast episodes, because obviously you see sometimes I go a month without posting. So make sure you follow me. I have more content on those platforms. And I hope you have the best day. Stay safe. And let's hang out again soon.